So people that might watch this video, or the very few of you that might watch this video, might go, what is this Xbox tax that I keep hearing about? Are you paying some extra taxes for an Xbox that you wouldn't pay for a PlayStation? And I've mentioned the Xbox tax in a couple of videos. I didn't go into like a ton of detail, but to be honest with you, it obviously is something that is happening, and it's super unfortunate that it's happening. Basically, and I'll kind of explain this to you, right? Like, the Xbox gets zero credit for anything good that it does, right? And I'll give you a good example of this. For the past 3+ years, Xbox Game Studios has only put out really highly rated games, well-respected games. Yes, there wasn't a lot of them, but the games that they put out were of high quality, high standing, and things like that. With that being said, Xbox got 100% of the blame for Redfall for being a bad game, despite the fact that that game was in development 3 years before Microsoft bought them. And Microsoft got no credit for Starfield's success, right? Oh, they bought them, they had to do this, they had to do that. But I think worst of all is the outlets themselves, right? Like, you have major gaming outlets say negative things about Xbox, and they would never say negative things about PlayStation. You can even look back. I remember when God of War came out in 2018, and IGN made the post showing, oh, here's what it looks like on PS4, here's what it looks like on Xbox, and it's just a black screen. I do that for fun. I've done that for fun for many years. It's kind of almost like they stole my gimmick a bit there. But again, this is the biggest outlet in gaming, and they're posting this kind of stuff, right? They're driving console wars. Of course, like, to me, what's funny is that people don't look at gaming, which is multi-billion-dollar industry, and think that there's anything that more than meets the eye. Oh, it's just plastic. It's immature to think that, anybody would show favoritism or bias. Why? In general, everybody's biased. Everybody has favorites, right? That's 100% factual. So why wouldn't they, just because they work in outlets and things like that, in gaming? The other thing, like IGN, obviously, and listen, I have no problem with Destin, but everybody was really pushing that 1080p, 900p narrative, and, IGN was no different. To me, it was never a big deal. Like, why would that be an issue? Especially since so many people stopped talking about that a little bit later, once the Xbox One X came out, and it was like straight up dog walking the PlayStation 4 versions, right? Now, suddenly nobody wanted to talk about this stuff. When you look at video game reviews, if Starfield would have been a PlayStation exclusive or time exclusive, it would have received better review scores, in my opinion. Of course, we have no way of really kind of knowing that for sure. It's kind of speculation. But I just want to point out this. Sony has not had a good year this year. Right, 2023 has not been a good year for PlayStation. Yes, they've sold PlayStations, but I'm going to go over the following and tell you what. If Xbox had this type of year, people would be saying Xbox was about to close down, but nobody's even talking about this on the PlayStation side. So, first and foremost, Jim Ryan, gone. Looks like he either fired or was kind of forced out there. Connie, who was a 30+ year executive there, apparently bumped heads, and she's gone too. Naughty Dog, they iced their multiplayer game after 5 years and took everybody off of it. So they're not going to... It looks like they probably won't have a game this generation, like a new game. They might have one at the end of the generation and it'll be cross-gen, but it looks like they're not going to have anything new. In fact, it was just announced that they have a Last of Us 2 remaster coming a mere 3 years after the launch of that game. So pretty crazy to think about that. You have game cancellations and game delays. Pixel Opus was working on a game, canceled. 6 games as a service, live service games delayed. Naughty Dog games either canceled or delayed. You have numerous layoffs at Naughty Dog. You had Pixel Opus closed completely. Numerous closings at Naughty Dog, Visual Studios, Bungie, also with the situation with Media Molecule. So you had layoffs across a ton of studios, games canned, games canceled, games delayed, people leaving, and one big major first-party game release this year for Sony, right? And it was Spider-Man 2. And next year, they don't have any new first-party games announced for the year. They have the Last of Us Part 2 remaster. So, I'm in a couple years, they'll probably totally remake that. So, again, if Microsoft had all that stuff happen, people would be talking about it's the end of Xbox. But nobody has said anything about PlayStation. Not only has that happen, but PlayStation in general, they're making revenue, but their profit is as low as it was in 2017. They're not making more money. Their PC ports are bombing completely. They raised the prices on PlayStation Plus, and they're giving us no extra value or anything like that. It's really, really unfortunate to say the least. This is the type of stuff that when we see it, we go, okay, well, there has to be some kind of reasoning, right? And even people are starting to notice, right, that once Microsoft owned Call of Duty, yes, maybe Modern Warfare 3 isn't the best game, but people giving it a 3, a 4. I'll never understand that. I mean, it's just more Call of Duty. But if you like Call of Duty before, why wouldn't you like it now? It seems like people really just want to give Xbox a lot of hate for whatever reason, and I find it to be pretty unacceptable. And the Xbox tax that people trying to want to go, oh, okay, well, that's not real. You're like a far right Trumper or whatever, if you think that's real. Give me a break. The thing that's funny to me is that people are out there actually trying to get political with this and try to compare it to political parties and sum it up in such a way or make people feel bad for believing that there's bias. There is literally bias in this world. Everybody feels a certain way about a certain thing. And it's so funny to me that people will try to downplay it or try to make you feel stupid for saying that there's an Xbox tax. Listen, Xbox maybe had some slumps and were slow with getting out some games, but the fact of the matter is there is no way that remake games should be up in award spots instead of new games, and there's no way that the Xbox games should be like so underappreciated for what they are. It's just kind of ridiculous. Nobody seems to call out PlayStation for what they're doing. It's really just kind of a shame for me anyway. It's sort of a unfortunate thing, and I hope that Microsoft admitted this, by the way. Major Nelson, at the time when he was working for Xbox, admitted that they'll never get the credit where credit is due, and that to me is just so unfortunate. What are some things that you guys have noticed? It isn't that Microsoft isn't putting out good games, because they obviously are and have been, and they're certainly putting out more games than PlayStation. They have better hardware than PlayStation, better deals than PlayStation, a better service than PlayStation. So why aren't they getting the love that PlayStation gets? It's really kind of frustrating. Let me know what you guys think. Certainly the media doesn't make fun of PlayStation the way that it does Xbox either. So let me know if you guys think this is real or just crazy stuff. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.